Going. For today's video, let's take an up-close and personal exclusive in-depth look at the all-new BMW i8. And this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the i8. We'll start it up, talk about the unique powertrains, and take it on a test drive, not to mention highlight various trim levels, how it's made, and much more with a thorough look at both the interior and exterior features. And before I begin, I'd like to take a moment to extend a big thanks and a special shout out to Flow BMW located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina for providing the i8 featured in today's in-depth review. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up, let her run. The i8 was designed with dihedral doors, which hinge up at the A-pillars for an up and out motion when opening, allowing easier entry into both the main cabin and rear seats, especially in tighter areas since the doors are quite long. They're constructed with a carbon fiber reinforced plastic inner structure with an aluminum outer skin, making them 50% lighter than conventional doors. The featherweight design and great strut support mean you had to exert little to no effort to open or close. The exterior is finished in crystal white pearl metallic with contrasting frozen gray accents. Frozen blue accents are available, paired with the Terra World exclusive Dalbergia brown leather interior and cloth accents, blue seat belts, and accent stitching. We'll talk about the 4 various trim levels or worlds later in the video. The i8 features standard push-button ignition, so to power it up, you simply make sure the key fob was within the interior of the vehicle, then hold the brake and hit the console-mounted button to go. When you climb in, the LED light ring around the button softly pulsates red. Once you press the brake, it pulsates brighter. Power on the car and it changes the color from red to blue. The i8 features a speed-proportional, electric-assisted rack and pinion steering system. It's routed through a sporty 3-spoke, bespoke steering wheel with split-spoke design at the bottom. Like any BMW product, the detailing is quite good, featuring supple leather, thick bolsters up top, and blue accenting that highlights the circumference of the wheel. The upper satin silver spokes house all of your multifunction controls, while the BMW badging on the airbag cover and exterior panels are highlighted by blue trim rings, a similar theme also seen with the new i3 electric car. The wheel feels nice to the touch without being too thick and gives a nice view of the instrument cluster. On the road, the i8 is a pleasure to drive. The steering feels nicely weighted, the chassis is firm without being punishing, and it evokes a comfortable driving profile with supportive seats and generous amount of space for the front occupants. The digital display up front takes a bit to get used to, but most of your vital data is in big font or circular dials so you can easily keep an eye on it. A heads-up display on the windshield also projects your speed. While the i8 isn't meant to be a hardcore track star, for its intended purpose it delivers a great balance of fun and economy with a serene cabin to keep out unwanted noise. Speaking of noise, the engine note out back is actually enhanced through the audio speakers. It's becoming a more common practice this day and age, especially when you think about how much sound deadening is in new cars. I personally think it just sounds more pronounced than artificial, giving off a fantastic soundtrack while accelerating. The i8 was designed from the onset as a plug-in hybrid, deriving its power from a combination of gas and electric sources. Its drivetrain is unique as power is delivered to the pavement by two separate transmissions. Their levels of engagement depend on your driving mode and whether you're in full EV mode or a combination of gas and electricity. A GKN 2-speed automatic gearbox propels the front wheels when using power from the electric motor, while an ISIN 6-speed automatic delivers power from the turbocharged 3-cylinder to the rear wheels, essentially creating a vehicle with inherent all-wheel drive. It's all routed through a familiar BMW electronic gear selector with manual shiftability either via the selector below or the paddle shifters. While under gasoline power, the 6-speed automatic performs fantastically with quick upshifts and a little bit of a throttle blip, not to mention rev matching downshifts. Now when you're on full electric power, the only thing you can hear is just a subtle whir from the electric powertrain. Unless you're in full electric mode or sport mode, the vehicle will oscillate between combination gasoline electric and full electric power depending on how much acceleration or the driving scenario. Like the gear changes with the 2-speed automatic up front, it's completely seamless. One of the first things you'll notice is the digital instrument cluster that displays essential information such as speed, drive mode, vehicle data, and other safety systems like adaptive cruise. Placing the car into sport mode brings up a traditional circular gauge cluster for speed and RPM readouts, while comfort mode, the power display meter replaces the rev counter. Eco Pro adds an efficiency display, allowing drivers to maximize distance by monitoring their accelerator pedal. Each mode is highlighted by unique colors. You can alter the i8's driving behaviors via 5 driving modes: Sport, Comfort, and Eco Pro, with the latter two allowing the ability for full EV driving or electric vehicle. Putting the i8 into eDrive or full electric mode allows it to travel up to 22 miles before the gas engine automatically kicks in. It can also accelerate to 60 miles an hour in about 9.5 seconds with a top speed limited to just 75 miles an hour while in electric mode. The electric motor's 2-speed transmission uses first gear for EV driving and shifts to the taller second gear for mixed power and traveling above 75 miles an hour. Comfort is the default setting, which gives the drivers a good balance between sport and efficiency. Eco Pro enhances electric range by reducing electric loads on non-essential components such as AC modulation. To activate sport mode, simply click the gear selector to the left while in drive. The gauges illuminate red and the engine ignites out back with full power from both the gas and electric powertrains. Once you place the vehicle in reverse, your backup camera automatically appears, a nice high-res display. You can also bring up a top-down view with the 360-degree camera system. It also works in sync with your front and rear parking sensors. Adjustable guidance lines, obstacle marking, all in an effort to help aid in parking. So before we cover some background, let's go ahead and flip on the automatic LED headlamps as well as the hazards. Both windows are fully automatic as standard, while your electronic door actuator is located on top of the door handle. Automatically flips up with ease. Unless the car is idling under gas power, while in electric mode, if you open up the door and let your foot off the brake, the car automatically goes into its accessory power mode, similar to the i3. BMW claims the i8 represents the sports car of the future, but what does that really mean? With the new eco-minded i sub-brand, the i8 represents the brand's first plug-in hybrid, joining the recently launched i3 electric vehicle. BMW dove into the hybrid segment a number of years ago, but with this new 2+2 they've created something different, something much more special. A sports car designed around economy and sustainability, utilizing advanced build techniques and delivering an impressive level of performance. While the i3 and i8 differ quite a bit in their automotive missions, their common bond lies in a revolutionary design process that, for the most part, combines carbon fiber, aluminum, and other lightweight materials such as magnesium. The overall architecture is known as Life Drive, and consists of a separate passenger compartment and chassis, which are joined together to create the final vehicle. The aluminum drive module carries the gas and electric powertrains, which are both cradle-by-aluminum subframes. It also contains the battery pack, electronics, chassis and suspension components, and crash structures. On the other hand, the Life module consists of a carbon fiber reinforced plastic passenger cell that sits on top of the drive module. The benefit? Carbon fiber is both 50% and 30% lighter than steel and aluminum respectively, with superior torsional rigidity and overall safety for occupants. Thanks to BMW's newly developed carbon manufacturing process, it's also cheaper to make than the typical woven pattern, but it doesn't have as pretty of a finish, which is why you won't see any exterior panels left in exposed carbon. The body is cloaked in a combination of aluminum and composite panels. With a curb weight just under 3,300 pounds, it's also pretty lean. BMW stopped at nothing to help shed weight wherever possible, such as acoustically benefiting foam plastic climate control ducting. Aluminum electrical wiring replaces traditional copper wires, while aluminum bolts and screws replace traditional steel. Not only that, the small window behind the rear seat is chemically treated, a process known as Gorilla Glass. It allows it to be thinner at just 0.7 millimeters thick and lighter, while being more durable than conventional laminated glass. Like the i3, designers and engineers weren't bound to develop a car using existing steel bodies and chassis. Everything was designed from scratch to create something different and innovative, all in the name of efficiency. The i8 is one of those rare cars that look even better in production than the initial concepts. It's larger than you would expect and boasts sculpted body panels that can only be described as a work of art. BMW describes the style as layered, in which surfaces and lines overlap and interweave. The sports car proportions are all there, a sleek profile with wide stance, low roofline, sloping nose, short overhangs, and a wedge shape out back. Everything you see was designed for aerodynamics, with large intakes up front that help reduce drag over the front wheels. The V-shaped black belt is a BMW i trademark. With the i8, it starts at the hood, which carries a radiator vent that shoots the air over the roof and through the unique sail panels over the rear flanks. Defined intake scoops across the sides within the widened rear fenders, in addition to a couple intakes underneath, send cool air to the gas engine and various components out back. All in all, coefficient of